I'm building a circuit. Please come to Tokyo, Mr. Soichiro Honda. What started with a simple telegram to the Netherlands finally evolved into one of the world's finest motor racing venues, Suzuka International Circuit. Welcome to Grand Prix Legends here on the Global Sim Racing channel, live from Suzuka. I'm Peter Mackay, and I'm privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beard. Now, Suzuka has an incredible heritage as well as it is challenging, and here is our GSRC track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Suzuka Circuit, perhaps most famous for its hosting of the Formula One Japanese Grand Prix for much of the event's history. This track sees all sorts of racing besides that. In fact, this place began as a test track for Honda, but later proved to be a driver and fan favorite for competitive motorsports as well. The full layout of the Grand Prix course steals the show, but there's actually 5 different versions that can be run on iRacing. With their lap lengths ranging from just over 2 kilometers to nearly 6 kilometers, plenty of different types of cars can suit the track. GT racing and lower-level open-wheelers are quite popular, but motorcycles are also a staple here. Some of the corners have become world-renowned over the years. The S's are often cited as one of the great tests of a driver's technical prowess. Then, of course, there's Dagners 1 and 2, which provide very little runoff considering their fast and narrow entry. Later on, the long backstretch leads up to the notorious 130R, which is blindingly fast. The Casio Triangle offers one last chance at an overtake if you're brave, but has been the scene of many drivers clattering into one another over the years. F1 fans will be quick to cite the infamous coming together here between Senna and Prost. However, real-life visitors will find it's more than the racing that provides some viewing pleasures. The unique ways in which the Japanese fans celebrate their favorite cars and drivers certainly capture your attention. But it's no wonder they're such fanatics, because who wouldn't be with one of the world's greatest tracks right in your backyard?
So there you are, a little bit more about this incredible venue here in Japan, owned by the great Honda Motor Company. Ryan, this is renowned as one of the greatest challenges for racing drivers anywhere around the world. Tell us a bit more about Suzuka.
Yeah, this fantastic Suzuka track has been around for, I'm not sure how many years, but it's been around for quite some time anyway. And it's hosted the Formula One Grand Prix, Japanese Grand Prix rather, and also it's hosted the DTM Championship way back in the mid-90s, around about 90, I think it was 1996 that the DTM visited this track. And it also Super GT as well, and the whole range of other series, and also hosted NASCAR, believe it or not. So even the American series have made the trip over to Japan, and today it will be hosted to the Grand Prix Legends series. And the best passing opportunities around this track is going to be into turn 1, and then you've got that tricky section after turn 1, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, and then you've got that long left run around the Dunlop curve heading down to the Dagners. And if you feel brave, you could make a move into the hairpin, but I think it'll require a bit of bravery. And then you've got the run down to the spoon curve, turn 13 and 14. And then you've got that long run up to 130R, which you could possibly make a move, but again, that'll require a bit of bravery. But today, the Grand Prix Legends Series will visit here, and boy, it should be a good race.
It should indeed. They've been racing here at Suzuka since 1962 as well, which is very cool indeed. Obviously, a lot more modern now. Let's have a look at the championship standings and see where we stand. And at the moment, the domination continues for Mick Claridge, 250 points, a perfect score, undefeated so far this season and most of last season as well. Topi Kortenemi currently sits second, just 40 points back, with Uwe Tringred in third. Rob Olenek sits in the fourth spot with Gary Teal rounding out the top 5.
Yep, in the F2 Championship at the moment, it's still being led by, or was being led by, the American driver Dave Cohen, but there's been a change up at the front in that championship. Jani Lehmann from Finland takes over in the lead with Dave Cohen 8 points further back, with Andre N, another driver from the United States, rounding out the top 3, with Robert Plumley in fourth, and Will McDonald rounding out the top 5. So the F2 Championship still close at the top and still all to play for.
finally, let's have a look at the Nations Cup standings and see where we are there at the moment. It's United Kingdom in with quite a comfortable advantage, nearly 90 points from the United States and Finland. Norway are sitting in third with France fourth and Denmark rounding out the top 5. So our race details for today here at Suzuka: 17 laps from a standing start. So this is a 1960s Grand Prix car, the Lotus 49, so getting it off the line, not an easy feat at all. And of course, as always here in the Grand Prix Legends series, a completely open setup series as well, so the drivers can go in and tinker with everything till their heart is content. So the drivers at the moment just out in qualifying, trying to lay down their fastest lap times to get a good grid spot for today's race. Now, this is, I have to say, I'm a big fan of this new paint scheme for Michel Dudignon. Now, I need to count the GSRC stickers on here. I'm trying to think, 1, 2, 3. We're almost into double figures. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was gorgeous. And Mick Claridge has got the same livery as well. So quite a few people deciding to sport the GSRC liveries, if you like, or GSRC sponsor logos, as Mick Claridge comes across the line to complete a lap and straight away to the pole position.
I see. Yeah, well, it's those GSRC stickers, obviously. They make you go faster, quite clearly. How many horsepower do you think, Ryan? You're a technical man. 10? 15?
1,000.
1,000? Wow. Well, you would think with 1,000 more horsepower, they'd have a bit more of an advantage than 0.2 of a second. But nevertheless, you got to put it down, of course, as a lot of these drivers have that issue with this Lotus 49. It's not got 1,000 horsepower, but it's got about 400, which is a lot in a car weighing about 500 kilos. And the tyres, well, they can be overwhelmed quite easily as well. So actually getting the power down in these cars, not straightforward at all.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's all about just being smooth with this car when it comes to getting the power down. As we look at Michel Dudignon at the moment, coming through the double left-hander at the moment and heading onto the back straight on the run-up to 130R. And it's such a tricky section to get right, especially the exit, because you want to try and carry as much speed on the exit and carry that momentum heading up to 130R. And this is the corner that always catches me out sometimes, because you want to try and take as much care on the inside as possible, but if you take too much or even run wide, it can all go horribly wrong.
Yes, and there are no small accidents at 130R either. And of course, once you've got 130R out the way, you've then got to get standing on the brakes for the Casio Triangle, which of course has been a couple of quite infamous incidents in motor racing history here at Suzuka. Of course, Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna crashing into one another in their identical McLarens many moons ago. Topi Korteniemi continues his impressive run in the championship in third. Now, my eyes deceiving me there that Topi Korteniemi also has a GSRC livery, so it's GSRC 1, 2, 3. Is there something we're not being told about?
yeah, I was just thinking that as well. I was looking at some of the liveries and I was like, I guess they're trying to play tricks with us, but I think I have noticed on the Lotus 49 Discord a few times this week that people have been planning to use new liveries, and seems to be giving them good luck at the moment. As looking at Chris Marikami coming up to 130R, and also just looking at the track temperature as well, as you saw on the screen. I think the track temperature could be a major factor in this race. As you see at the moment, it's 66 degrees Fahrenheit air temperature and 68 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. So not too hot, but not too cool at the same time.
I think the drivers will be quite happy to see that, because normally the Suzuka and any kind of Japanese circuit, for whatever reason, it can be very, very greasy when it gets hot on the surface. So today, with a slightly cooler temperature than is normal for Suzuka, will certainly be very much welcome for these drivers, especially in these cars where getting the power down is so tricky. So we're nearly finished our qualifying session. I think Michael Flaherty here might struggle to get over the line in time to get another lap in there as well. So it looks like our grid is more or less set, and we're going to see Mick Claridge starting on pole position once more, although only 0.1 of a second ahead of Michel Dudignon. So let's have a look at the full grid setup here for the 17-lap Grand Prix here at Suzuka International Circuit in Japan. On pole position then, Mick Claridge with a 156.8 with Michel Dudignon right behind and joining him on the front row of the grid. Row 2 sees Topi Kortenemi and Uwe Trengerade with Bill Tyler and Colin Bentley rounding out your third row. Gary Thiel and Andreas Henkel start on row 4 with Janne Lehmann and Laus Olsen rounding out your top 10.
Starting in 11th is Robert Plumley with Chris Murakami lining up alongside him in 12th with Bruce Nelson in 13th. 14th is John Olsen with Emmanuel Pereira in 15th, Dave Cohen in 16th. 17th is Andrew Eng, Roland Wallbank 18th, Eugenio Massa in 19th, and rounding out the 20 is Randy Huff.
And your last few runners then, Steve O'Malley, Michael Flaherty, Stephen Chambers, Robert Reynolds, Luke Greenfield and Sven Zielke round out your 26 car grid. And unusually here in the Grand Prix Legends series, we have one complete split. There is no multiple splits this week, so all of the drivers that have signed up for this race are in this top split. So they get, this is quite cool, Ryan. There's a few drivers who wouldn't normally get into the top split are going to get to be the stars of the show here on GSRC.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you say, normally the names that you don't see in the top split this most of the time, but this week, yeah, they'll probably get some airtime, and I think they'll be pretty happy to be in the top split and get some airtime on the broadcast. But as we're waiting for everyone to line up on the grid, and they're just about to get underway.
They are indeed. The lights rise up. Mick Claridge on pole position, going to lead us away. We are racing in Japan. And it's a good start there from Mick Claridge, getting the car off the line nicely. Will Michel Dudignon be able to have a lunge into turn 1? Oh, it's always a little bit narrow going in there into turn 1 and 2, but it looks like the drivers have got through more or less okay. Mick Claridge leads away from Michel Dudignon and Topi Kortenemi.
Yep, it's been relatively clean so far as I come through this. As I say that, actually, someone goes through the gravel, but back up at the front, it's still Claridge leading from Dudignon, from Kortenemi, from Trengrade. And Mick Claridge feeling the pressure, but that's the thing with these guys behind as well, like Dudignon and Kortenemi. They can't afford to be too cautious and let Mick get into the zone, because we know what he's like. Once he gets in the zone and into that mindset, he's just unbeatable.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Michel Dudignon has got to get on the case of Mick Claridge early. He can't sit behind him. It's just not the way to do it. Once Mick gets the clear track, he is just unstoppable. But I tell you what, this has been the raciest we've seen Michel Dudignon in quite a while, and he's all over the gearbox of Mick Claridge here. So it's a GSRC liveried 1, 2, 3. It's GSRC, the new Penske of sim racing.
Yeah, pretty much, and he's gone through the double left-hander now, and Mick Claridge getting a little bit sketchy there on the entry and manages to hold it, but Michel Dudignon gets a great exit, and he might try and use that slipstream heading up to 130R, but he won't make a move because it's very risky to make a move there. But riding on board from your favourite view, Peter.
Indeed, yes, on the engine cover, Cosworth DFV cam. Now this is where you can make a move into the Casio triangle. It is risky, but it's possible. And you can see there Mick Claridge having to just get on the defensive there at the last moment to try and keep Michel Dudignon behind. And then, of course, the run all the way down towards turn 1, and it looks like we got ourselves a bit of a race on here as well. And you can see Mick Claridge just moving around on the straight a little bit, trying to minimise the effect of the slipstream which Michel Dudignon is getting. He locks up ever so slightly, but manages to pull it back to the apex. Does the number 1 of Michel Dudignon. Topi Kortenemi right there in 3rd, and Uwe Trengerade in 4th. We are all bunched right in close together for this race.
Yeah, we've got a 4-car battle going on for the lead, and this four-car pack is starting to pull away from the rest of the pack behind. Bill Tyler is probably the leader of the best of the rest pack, if you like.
So you can see they're just starting to split into 2 distinctive packs now. There's the leading 4. Next along is Bill Tyler, kind of best of the rest, as you rightly say, Ryan. So they go through Degner 1 and Degner 2. Named after Ernst Degner, who actually defected from East Germany. He was smuggled out of East Germany by Suzuki in return for two-stroke secrets, and that's a big moment there for Michel Dudignon. He's lost the run, and Claridge has escaped. Cortinemi seizes the opportunity as they swoop round towards Spoon Curve, and can Dudignon maintain the position? I think it's going to be difficult. Has to give best to Trengarade, and this is Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Happy New Year for Mick Claridge.
Yep, and that's what I was saying before about Mick Claridge. If any of these guys start squabbling amongst themselves or make a mistake like Dudignon made, then it's just giving Claridge a chance to pull away, and then they take advantage of that.
Big hello to Rob Olenek watching on the Global Sim Racing channel. Rob, we miss you. Can't wait to see you back out on track again, but I hope you enjoy the action today. Plenty of protagonists up at the front. Michel Dudignon, that could prove to be a very, very costly mistake indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ride on board with Owe Trengrade as well, and just coming across the line, Mick Claridge puts in the fastest lap of the race so far, and Owe Trengrade, we know what he's like. He can be really racing when he wants to be, and absolutely fighting that car like we've come to expect from Owe, because he's one of those people that likes to make the car slide around a bit.
Yep, it's a Scandinavian way, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, it was the Finnish way, specifically. So, coming through the opening snaking S's, and in this car with no aerodynamic grip whatsoever, it's all mechanical grip in this car, and trying to get the car to change direction, trying to carry corner speed is really, really tricky. And you just want to try and get the wheel straightened up, try and get the power down, because when that power comes in, my word, it is powerful. It really was a huge step change in the sport when this Cosworth DFV came in 1967. So going back to Gary Thiel here, battling away with Andreas Henkel for 7th position at the moment. Thiel just got the advantage at the moment. Henkel there with the red helmet, just trying to stalk Gary Thiel and try and figure him out, try and figure out where he's a bit quicker, try and figure out where he's maybe a bit slower, and then try and make you move from there. Of course, Andreas Henkel running the beautiful Martini colours. Of course, led by Count Gregorio Rossi back in the early 70s. He was a big race fan. In fact, he actually ordered a Porsche 917 road car from Porsche. He was such a petrol head, and of course Martini have pumped endless amounts of money into motorsport over the years.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do remember those Martini liveried Formula 1 cars as well. They were absolutely gorgeous, but I would say my favourite memory is probably I think, oh, someone's off into the wall. That's the number 2 car. That's Claridge.
It's Mick Claridge. Well, I can understand the surprise in your voice, Ryan. Oh, it's an engine gone. The engine's gone. He's blown the engine. He's missed a shift going down into turn 1, and the engine is gone. Mick Claridge could be done for the day. Let's listen. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, that is... well, the streak appears to be over.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the start of the broadcast. Could Mick Claridge's dominant run be stopped? And I don't think that's the way it's not the way I would have wanted it to be stopped anyway, but that's just... it must be heartbreaking.
Yeah, these cars, they do not let you away with any poor input, and you know, if you just get a gear change just wrong, you'll nuke the engine, and we've just seen that can happen. So now there's an opportunity here for Topi Cortinemi. We've seen him click out podiums, click out top 5s with metronomic consistency. Now he's got the chance to go for outright honours, but he has the rivals in the shape of Michel Dudignon in the number 1 car and Uwe Trengarade in the number 7 car, who's a little bit distant at the moment. But of course, as soon as Dudignon and Cortinemi start battling, you can be sure that Trengarade will be right on top of them.
Absolutely, I think this is probably the best position for Trengarade to be in, but further back in the field as well, we've got this battle going on currently as well. So not just battles up at the front, but in the midfield as well. This is the battle for 10th position between John Olsen, Andreas Henkel, and Bruce Snelson.
Well, this Grand Prix is just flipped on its head. Mick Claridge blowing his engine going into turn 1. We can only assume it's a missed shift or an over rev or something like that. Or, I mean, Ryan, you've got more experience behind the wheel in these cars than I do. Can it just be a case of just changing down too early?
It's a good possibility. I mean, I know Mick races in VR, so I don't know if he's maybe went to downshift the gear and maybe just instead of switching down to further fourth gear, and maybe he's accidentally shifted down to second gear.
Well, yes, that would certainly do it. That's for sure. Of course, no electronic rev limiter. If you over rev the engine, it just bounces straight through. So, it's drama. Coming up, they're not even at a third race distance now, and we have got an absolute thriller on the course here. Cortinemi versus Dudignon right now. Around Spoon Curve they go. A really good corner in a car with lots of aero, but here in the Lotus 49, it's such a balancing act.
Yeah, absolutely is. As they headed up to the 130R now, and the laps I done offline during the week with this car, or a couple of days ago rather, with this car through 130R, it's just, if you get it wrong, it can be so scary. But as they head into the chicane now, and still this battle for the lead will just not die down.
That was Michel Dudignon there through 130R. He must have some Francois Delacour genes in him, because honestly he was completely crossed up right over the curb sideways and gathered it all up in one go. Absolutely. Oh, someone off in the background. Must be one. It looks like it is Plumley. Plumley plummets down the order.
I like what you done there. That was a good one. Oh, he just caught the inside grass.
It's very easy to do there because you're asking for the power, and you've still got a bit of steering lock on when you're getting the power on there, Ryan. It's quite a balancing act with all your inputs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did find on the exit of a chicane and also the right-hander heading onto the home straight, it's very easy to make a mistake there just because you're trying to get on the power really, really quickly, or you want to try and put more power down than you can with this car. But Robert Plumley up the inside of another car and not wasting any time trying to get back through the field.
No, he is not. He's getting straight back down to business, and that's good. Even despite a bit of contact with the wall, able to carry on. That's good news. So Topi Cortinemi still leads from Michel Dudignon, the recovering Michel Dudignon from a small mistake earlier on, a very small mistake. Well, I have to say that these, I'll say it once, I will say it again. These are these GSRC machines. They just look fantastic. This is, of course, this is what Penske does, Ryan, because of course he owns the IndyCar Series, he owns the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he owns a team in the IndyCar Series. So maybe Don and Joe Peaker are planning on world domination of the sim racing game, maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly, unless they're not telling us anything that we don't, or they don't want to tell us anything we don't know. But I believe we've got Mick Claridge in the booth. Unfortunately, retired with a blown engine.
Hi guys.
Mick, tell us what on earth happened there, pal.
You know what? That's the first time that's happened all week. I didn't downshift earlier, didn't miss a gear shift or anything like that. It was just over 10,000 on the downshift. It's the first time it's happened. Sometimes it just goes that way, doesn't it? I was going to leave it parked on the track for the rest of the race, just for homage of the paint.
Now tell us about the paint, because Ryan and I are trying to figure out where this inspiration has come from for not one but 3 GSRC factory cars out there. 4.
Well, there's a few of us, mate. Yeah. No, this is the thing, mate. Grand Prix legends, everyone likes to, all the other series like to look on us as the old gits, the old farts of iRacing, and it's true. but we still want to go as fast as we can. And somebody mentioned last week that a GSRC sticker would be worth 20 horsepower. So someone put one on their car, and then we thought, okay, we're not having that. Someone else put another one on, and we just ended up running all the whole pace. So have a look at last week's broadcast. I think it was you, Pete, that said it.
Probably. It sounds like the sort of nonsense that would come out of my mouth as well. And of course, the carbon fibre wrap underneath, that's going to be worth another 20 horsepower.
I don't know about that. It's just, maybe 18.
Well, Mick, I think it's very important that we say congratulations on what must be one of the longest winning streaks of any series in iRacing, particularly here in the Grand Prix Legends series. It's been quite a run, but looks like if it's any consolation, you're going to get to watch a brilliant battle live here between Topi and Michel.
Yeah, and it's annoying because although I got away from them because Michel made that huge mistake in the hairpin, they were catching me again. I looked at the sector times afterwards with a little referee screen, and it went from 1.5 down to 1.2. So it was going to be a freeway battle. I was on my limit on that lap, and I didn't make any mistakes. So it was going to be a freeway for this. And mate, I'm just trying to think of what's happened this season and last season, with all the wins. And I'm pretty sure it's down to the weather. I like a really bitey rear end on the car, so I'll always stick a 35 ramp in the back end of the car to try and get the bite off the corners. And I think that's really helped me since we've run this cold weather in these races. I'm sure that's what it is, because we've had some races during the week where the weather's been hotter and haven't been so quick on, coming out these slow corners. So it was a good while it lasted. Technically, they didn't beat me, did they? I crashed.
I'm sure you. Whoa, no! One of the GSRC cars is off. Oh dear, wall bank. Yeah, well, Mick, whatever way you want to look at it, it's been an amazing run, and I shall let you go now to go and pick bits of gearbox off the tarmac at turn 1.
I'll go and do that now. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Cheers, Mick. Oh my, Ryan, that was a pretty violent incident there.
Yeah, I was about to say, Roland Wallbank got a bit of a hefty whack, and just unfortunate about that. But another one of the drivers that's carrying the GSRC logos, and unfortunately not providing him with any luck.
Well, exactly. The fact that this car is still going, clearly they provide a protective force field around you, obviously. Must be. So, just coming over the stripe then, and 9 laps to go here at Suzuka. 9 pretty long laps as well. It is a tough racetrack here at Suzuka. And Cortinemi still leads. And Ryan, he is looking super comfortable right now in the lead, and showing that typical typical Scandinavian serenity.
Yeah, he's not. I was about to say he's not doing anything too erratic. He's not overdriving. He's not sliding around. He's just keeping his cool and just not letting the pressure get to him. But then again, Finnish drivers are always known for being super cool, and they take Kimi Räikkönen for example.
Okay, so it looks like Andreas Henkel has got by Chris Murakami in the 6th car. Let's take a look on our GSRC replay how he did it. Yeah, so Henkel, wow, this is a brave place to do it. Oh my goodness. And I think, well, we know that Murakami's not shy. He's thinking, there? Really? Okay. I actually think, Ryan, Murakami, he'll respect that, I think. He'll go, oh, a man after my own heart.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a bit of a brave move, and trying to go too wide through there can end up in disaster. But credit to Andreas, who managed to pull the move off and get it done, and credit to Chris Murakami for leaving just enough room.
Well, I think he's earned himself a cold cocktail made with vodka and a well-known brand of vermouth, which you might or might not be familiar with, as well. Thanks a lot of time, Martini. You think of course, it's as famous for being the name of a cocktail as well as a drink, an ingredient of that cocktail.
Yeah, absolutely. As Henkel tries to make a move on the Lehman heading through 130R, as Lehman gets sideways through 130R, and that gives Henkel the opportunity to pick up the position.
Yep, he's on the charge through. Well, whatever he's drinking, I want some of it because he's absolutely tearing away here. But I tell you what, I can tell you're not interested, Ryan. If it were Scotch, it would be a different story.
Oh, yes.
Wait, if you were to have a Scotch, what would be your favourite Scotch, Ryan?
I have no idea. As long as it's alcohol, I'm happy.
That's a fairly easy criteria to meet with Scotch whisky. I have to say, I do like a Bunnahabhain. I do like Bunnahabhain from Islay. It's very nice. Anyway, back at the front. Whoa, we have the GSRC factory crew, Courtenay, Dudignon and Trengarade now starting to get a bit of a second wind here. And you can see, if you're wondering what on earth these puffs of smokes are, viewers, that's the brakes actually locking up, or the tyre actually skidding along the surface as the brake locks up. Of course, the braking system in this car, girdling brakes from 1967, and they are very much of the time, shall we say. So they're very, very easy to lock up, and you put the brake on in these cars, Ryan, and you almost feel like throwing an umbrella out the window because they don't appear to slow down when you hit the brake.
Yeah, these cars are pretty difficult to slow down. I mean, you want to check, because they're so difficult to slow down, you get tempted to not slam the brake, but brake really hard. But the only thing with these cars is if you brake really hard, the car can snap on you and spin you around. But as the top three come into the final chicane now, they're all still close together. And again, I have to say, Peter, it's Courtenay is doing a great job under pressure as he moves around on the home straight, trying to break the slipstream. But he's doing a good job under pressure and not letting it get to him.
No, he's definitely hitting his marks. The car's not looking out of shape. In fact, I would say arguably the cars behind are those who we've seen just locking up here and there. And Courtenay, look at the confidence he's got going through the S section here. That car is really working for him today. Yeah,
it's hooked up as he come through the final part of the S section now, and he looks so smooth, he looks so confident, he's not being erratic. And I think at the moment, Michel Dudignon, he's not got an answer.
Okay, so it's hearing that there's been a problem for Snelson in the number 9 car. Let's have a look. I think it's already happened by this point. Coming up to 130R, and I think he's maybe blown his engine because that car is going very, very slowly indeed. Okay, right. We're coming down into Spoon Curve. This very difficult left-hander. There's got a number of apexes coming in quite shallow, and oh, look, was it just a lock-up? Do you think, Ryan? Seems a bit unusual.
The way he was turning his wheel, it looked like as if he had like steering damage or something like that. But as Gary Teal's had an issue heading up to the double left-hander in 6th position. He's just spun around.
Oh, this definitely qualifies as an issue, that's for sure. Let's have a look on our GSRC replay. Gary Teal coming up towards Spoon Curve. Now, this, you might just think this is just hold it flat. It's not. He just touches the grass, just catches a blade, maybe 2 or 3 blades of grass, and round he goes. Look at this. I mean, if he got in the grass, it was hardly at all, just the painted bit, and whoosh. That is the sort of incident, Ryan, that can just sap your confidence, because Gary Teal did virtually nothing wrong there.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. I think just tried to use a little bit more power than you can use in that corner with these cars. I think he just used a little bit too much, and just like you saw there, he just spun. But he managed to keep going again, and he's still in the top 10 in 8th position, so he's only lost 2 places.
Yeah, it was recovered well. Has Gary Teal still in the top 10, which is always good to see. Dudignon leads. What has happened off the camera? Dudignon has gone past Courtenay. Well. So, Michel Dudignon into the lead then, in the number 1 car with 6 laps to go. Topi Courtenay was looking so strong in the number 3 car, but he's had to give best. Where has that happened out on the circuit? We will try and find it for you, and all the while Uwe Trengerade still stalks these guys. He's not out of this race either, and you've got to think that if it's a mistake that caused Topi Kortenemi to lose the lead, you've got to think that he's really driving hard now. And we've got it here on the GSRC replay. Coming up through the S's here as well. So Dudignon is ahead at this point, so it's obviously happened already. So it must have happened into turn 1, I suspect, for these leaders. It would help if they had different paint schemes, that's for sure. Not that I would complain about the GSRC stickers. So Kortenemi's leading. Here we go. Coming down into Casio Triangle. And Dudignon, oh, it's very crafty move around the outside. And Kortenemi didn't put up too much of a protest there, Ryan.
Yeah, I think he realised that Michel was completely alongside him, and decided just to try and leave as much room as possible instead of trying to hold the position, because trying to go too wide through that chicane, it can be done, but you've got to be it requires the other driver to be very aware and very cooperative, and like Kortenemi just decided to not fight it too much.
Yeah, just trying to minimise the contact, minimise the damage, and lives to fight another day. And Kortenemi is still very much in this race with 5 laps to go. It'll be 4 to go at the stripe, actually, so about 4.5 to go at this moment in time. As you see, Uwe Trengerade really driving it in deep into the hairpin. Now, looking at these GSRC stickered cars, this might be the biggest endorsement since Kenny Roberts in the 1986 Suzuka 8-hour motorcycle race, where he was paid $750,000 by Yamaha to race in the Suzuka 8-hour, and he was paid $500,000 from his leather sponsor as well. But unfortunately, Ryan, Honda still won anyway, despite all that money.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing with motorbike racing motorbike racing in Japan, or motorbike racing in general. Honda seems to be pretty much the manufacturer to beat most of the time these days. But especially in real life MotoGP, it's not the case at the moment. With this season and towards the end of last season, throwing up a mixture of winners.
It has, yes. It's very unpredictable at the moment over in the two-wheeled world. That is for sure. Certainly more unpredictable than the four-wheeled world at Grand Prix level. Michel Dudignon then holding the lead. Can Kortenemi strike back? Where can he strike back? That's the trick. He looks very good through this S's section, but of course not really any overtaking opportunities through the S's, so he's going to have to try and set it up somehow and try and think 3 or 4 corners ahead, trying to get a move set up on Michel Dudignon. But this would be, it's been quite a while since we've seen Michel in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the last time we saw Michel in the winner's circle. That's I'm taking a guess, but it must be about probably 2 or 3 seasons ago. So yeah, if Michel holds on to take the win, that will be well deserved. But something that Mick Clary's just mentioned as well, that some of these cars are running stiff anti-roll bars, so that's why some of these drivers are locking up.
I see. Very good insight indeed. So what is making a car that's easy to lock up at the best of times even more so. So of course I would imagine that the running those quite stiff anti-roll bars quite important for the changes of direction here at Suzuka, I would guess.
Yep, rider on board with 12th place rather, Emmanuel Pereira currently battling for 11th place with Robert Plumley in front of him heading up to the hairpin, and Emmanuel Pereira, he's not really up at the front challenging most of the time, but he's always a driver that's just on the hinges of the top 10, or finishes in the top 10 most of the time, and having a great run at the moment. And Michel Dudignon putting in the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:56.9, so he's giving it the beans, that's for sure.
That he is, as Andrew Eng has a spin coming out of the second Degner, which is very easy to do. Backs it in there into turn 1, Here it comes. Ooh, wait for it. Ask for the power on the stripe. Round he goes, and just shows you, Ryan, you just need to just dip a wheel off, but it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a few issues in the exit of that corner a few times if I run wide. In cars like the Spec Racer Ford or even the Porsche Cup car in iRacing, that if you take too much exit curb, especially some of the AstroTurf, it can spin you around.
Yep, that's for sure. So it'll be 2 laps to go at the stripe. Michel Dudignon leads. Cortinemi struggling to keep pace with the Frenchman now. And actually, maybe Cortinemi got to worry about would be Trengrade in third as they start to stretch out with just a couple of laps to go coming into Spoon Curve.
Absolutely. And the top Cortinemi, I think he's trying everything he can to try and close that gap back down to Michel, but at the moment he's just not having any luck. But this battle for 7th place between Gary Thiel and Chris Marikami and Yanni Lehman is still going on, and Lehman just hanging back there, I think, just waiting to see what happens. And Chris Marikami was showing his nose there. Oh, can he get the run in the exit of the hairpin?
Oh, just had to get out of the throttle a little bit there, and I think that was just enough for Gary Thiel to keep a hold of the position just. But Murakami, you know that if there's even half a chance, he will have a go at it, that's for sure. We can be certain. So, what a race this has been here at Suzuka. It's Michel Dudignon really starting to drop the hammer now. 156.7 and starting to pull some valuable time out of Topi Cortinemi. Now nearly at 0.7 of a second. The gap with just 2 circuits of this Suzuka International to go. And it would take a mistake now, I think, from Michel. But let's see what Cortinemi and indeed Uwe Trengrade have up their sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Michel, this is probably the best we've seen Michel go this season so far, and from the time he's raced. And yeah, I think I wonder if Nick will correct me, but I think Michel has possibly had a bottle of red wine before the race.
Oh, absolutely. Breakfast of champions here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Certainly, and at the time when these cars were racing in period, I think such things would not be as uncommon as you might imagine. Certainly a different era of the sport. And yeah, Michel certainly is living the full Grand Prix legend lifestyle then, you could say.
Yeah, pretty much. Topi Cortinemi runs wide? Oh, I thought Topi was running wide there. He just about ran wide onto that green AstroTurf stuff and Spoon, and they just manages to gather it back up.
Yeah, that was close. Very, very easy to lose it there at Spoon Curve. Getting a good run through Spoon Curve would be easier to play Bohemian Rhapsody on the spoons than do that. Can you play the spoons, Ryan?
No.
I do quite like playing the spoons, actually. It's a good party trick. Yeah, funnily enough, you need Michel Dudignon levels of red wine consumption for it really to work, though.
What you do in your own time is up to you, pal.
You're like, I prefer Scotch because
yes,
it's like, hi, I'm Ryan Walker and I drink Scotch because I'm sophisticated.
Oh yeah, I drink Scotch and wear like the whole posh housecoat thing as well.
A smoking jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear. Back to the action.
We pick up our winner, or our leader, I should say, Michel Dudignon. Half a second to the good right now as he comes into the Degners for the final time. Gets through nice and clean. And Topi Cortinemi just closing in a fraction, but looks like Michel Dudignon's got this under control. Coming into the hairpin. Nice and tidy, just hitting his marks as he needs to do.
Yep, as they're heading up to the Spoon Curves now, and Cortinemi is closing down slightly, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. I think the only chance he's got, if he can get a great exit on the exit of this last left-hander heading up to the back straight, and hopefully he can carry that speed head up to 130R, but no, he's not close enough.
No, not quite. Not quite. And we've got a bogey up ahead. The number 23 car running GS. That's Roland Wallbank running the GSRC logo. So I think actually we have 5 GSRC logoed cars out there as well. As Michel, just a little lock up there into the Casio triangle, but no fuss. Michel Dudignon returns to the winner's circle here in the Grand Prix Legends Series. The number 1 on the car, top of the pack for the Frenchman. Brilliant stuff with Topi Cortinemi agonisingly behind in second and Uwe Trengerade in third.
Yep, Colin Bentley heading through 130R now, and he's going to finish in 4th place, but we're looking back at this battle for 6th place between Gary Teo and Chris Marikami heading up to 130R, and Chris Marikami, he's not close enough, but he does like to take a bit of the brave pills, and he's going to try and make a move into the chicane. I don't think he is, because he's not close enough, so Chris Marikami decides to just not do anything too risky.
No, and that's, there you go. You don't hear that one very often. Chris deciding to just take the points and finish in 7th position as a driver streaming over the line after a thrilling Grand Prix here at Suzuka Circuit. So we're going to take a very short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Suzuka International Raceway with absolute thriller, and an unbeaten run of 16 races comes to an end. And Ryan, as they say, it's all good things have to come to an end at some point.
Yeah, and it's not the way I wanted to see Mick Claridge be beaten today. I think he would have preferred to get beaten in a straight fight with Dudillon, Cortinemi and Trengrade, but sometimes the racing gods are not on your side, and unfortunately Mick Claridge found it out.
Unfortunately so. So we'll run through your results then here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Michel Dudignon, your winner then by 0.6 of a second from Topi Kortenemi, with Uwe Trengrade rounding out the podium. A great run for Colin Bentley in 4th position, with Andreas Henkel rounding out the top 5. A great drive for Andreas as well in the Martini machine. Gary Thiel was 6th, followed by Chris Murakami, Yanni Lehman, Bill Tyler, and John Olsen rounds out the top 10.
Robert Plumley finished in 11th with Emmanuel Pereira in 12th, with Andrew M 13th, Eugenio Massa in 14th, 15th went to Roland Wallbank, with Luke Greenfield in 16th, 17th with Dave Cohen, Michael Flaherty in 18th, Bruce Nelson in 19th, and rounding out the 20 was Robert Reynolds.
And your last few runners today here at Suzuka: Laust Olsen, Stephen Chambers, Randy Hoff, Steve O'Malley, Mick Claridge, Sven Zielke running out your top 26 drivers that we had here today at Suzuka. Now we have our runner-up joining us in the commentary box. Topi Kortenemi is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Topi was in contention for the win for most of that race, and actually led the race for some portions as well. And Topi, you were having a great run in the lead after Mick had his issues, and you were cool under pressure. You didn't seem to let it get to you, but it looked like you made a mistake, and that gave Michel a chance to pounce and take the lead. But what happened?
Yeah, when I saw Mick, I saw a puff of smoke. I think he just locked the brakes and went wide, and soon realized that he must have had engine trouble. So then I knew I was in the lead, but I know Michel was fast also, and from there on I just tried to hit my apexes and just keep it cool. But for me, it happened the same thing as for Rob in Le Mans, and I had a slowdown in the fast left-hander before the chicane, and I had to slow down all the way to the middle of the chicane and couldn't hold my position, and had to let Michel go, and I just couldn't pass him. He was too fast, but good racing anyway.
That was a fantastic battle between you guys. What was your mindset after Michel took the lead? Did you try and push as much as possible to try and catch back up to him, or do you think Michel just had that edge when it came to pace, and just he done enough to hold onto the lead for the rest of the race?
I was just trying to get back the rhythm. I know that I knew that our pace difference was little, and I still had the draft. So if Michel made a mistake or got a slowdown, I think I could have made the move, but it didn't happen this time. He drove very clean for the rest of the race, and of course I would have liked to get my first win, but on the other hand, it's nice that someone else than Mick wins for a change.
And looking ahead to Michigan next week, is it a track that you've raced on much? Have you done much oval racing with the Lotus 49, or will this be your first time?
I've never done any oval racing, so I think I need to get my license up and maybe some racing to get into top split. I'm accepting it to be very popular, so we'll see.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, Topi, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Of course, Michel. I was expecting him to come here to the commentary box, and Mickey as well. I wanted to win him, but not this way, having some engine trouble. So all the best for him.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on second place, Topi, and look forward to seeing you on track at Michigan next week.
Yeah, thank you. See you later.
As I believe up next, Peter, you are standing by with the championship leader and who unfortunately tired from the race, Mick Claridge.
I am indeed, yeah. And Mick, just want to get your thoughts on that race, on the action. We covered your fortunes earlier on, but your thoughts on that battle between Topi and Michel.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was really good. I loved it. I stayed in the sim after I blew the engine and just carried on watching it. But yeah, I tell you what, Michelle's. I said it last week to you guys. If Michelle actually puts some practice in, you'll see how fast he is. And you did today, and he never messes up when he's leading as well. That's why his iRating so much, higher than everyone else's. Really, he's normally a 6,500 IR driver. So yeah, once he got the lead, I thought that was going to be it. It takes a lot to get around Michelle. But yeah, brilliant to see him win again. Brilliant to see him back again. And also one more thing, just wanted to say, good news about Rob. Rob seems to be getting a bit better now these days. So hi to him. I know he's watching.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Mick, congratulations on a run of 16 consecutive victories here in the Grand Prix Legends series. I think that will take quite some beating.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot.
So that was Mick Claridge, our championship leader, after not an ideal day here today at Suzuka, but certainly after 16 wins in a row, can't complain at all. Well, that's all we have time for here today on the Global Sim Racing channel. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see them listed here on your screen. An additional thank you goes to June Lalonde, who provides all of our wonderful music. A big thank you goes to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for their work on today's broadcast. And if you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing channel, you can go on our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, or our social media on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit the big red subscribe button so you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.